All right. Okay, I'm back for part two of the review of Indiana Jones and the Indiana Jones set. And before I start with the description of the next two, I'm going to say that these are absolutely fantastic on Blu-ray. They sound absolutely incredible. They have great picture quality. You know, they're great. It's just a great series to own. It's a must-have if you have a Blu-ray. You know, I know a lot of people out there are like, well, I want to go through digital, but this one is one that you must get on Blu-ray. You have to get it. You know, so it's a must-have for Blu-ray. Okay, so now we're gonna go to Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Okay, now Steven Spielberg and George Lucas decided to basically go back to the series, basically the series roots. All right, and what happened is basically they wanted to bring in someone who could play Indiana Jones' father, you know. And who they went to was the great Sean Connery. And boy, did he ever make a great performance. I mean, he was basically almost the standout. He pretty much was the standout performance in the whole entire movie. But them together, working together on it, and having that chemistry together basically made the movie, for me, from it being a complete failure. All right? And they go back to Indiana's roots with the Nazis and everything like that. And they go back to everything that basically made Indiana Jones great. And what I think made the fact that Indiana Jones was still relevant in the late 80s was the fact that you love him, you know, you love him, and, you know, you love his adventures and stuff, but here he's trying to go after, in this movie, I mean, in the first movie he was trying to go after the Ark of the Covenant, in this movie he's trying to go after the Holy Grail, and I think the one thing that made this movie was basically the chemistry between Sean Connery and Harrison Ford. They basically made that movie, and it's hilarious throughout the whole, to see them work together. It's just absolutely hilarious, and you get to see where Indy kind of got his temperament and his taste for action, for adventure, and through his father's eyes, you know, which makes the story it makes the story good and basically good to follow, you know, and the action is like one-upped from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. You got tank battles, you got the fantastic end scene when they're in the cave and the traps and stuff. You got where they go into Berlin, where they go into the heart of Berlin during World War II, and that was a cool scene, you know, where he met Hitler and you know, as he signed his book and stuff. That was cool. That was really awesome, and it's things like that that made The Last Crusade a good movie, and it's things like that that made it worth being in this quadrilogy, you know, and it made it classic, you know, and the trilogy itself, these three movies are absolutely excellent. Now we get into basically almost 20 years later, about 19 years later, and we got to Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. It's kind of like almost a remake of The Last Crusade, only it's in the reverse. Okay, now Indiana Jones is the one who has a son. He's the one who's basically the father now. and he has his son, who's an adventurer himself, is played by Shia LaBeouf. And there were problems in the movie, that didn't really sum up the series for me. For one, it used a bit too much computer animation for me. I think they should have used a bit more traditional animation, traditional effects and stuff. They used a lot of computer animation. And the one thing that everybody complains about is the ending with the aliens and stuff like that. And, everything towards that ending was not great. It really did not sum up the series to me. Plus, but it is fun to get to see how Indy is at an older age, that he's still got it, there, that he's still just the old Indiana Jones, only in an older body, So, he's still the Indiana Jones that we love and know. It's just they gave him a bad storyline, and it wasn't very good. It just, I don't know, it's hard to describe, because you think with George Lucas and Steven Spielberg, they could have came up with something better than what they had, I don't know. It just wasn't very good. It didn't really sum up the series as much as I would have liked. And I think it's probably one of the worst. Cate Blanchett played the evil Russian, leader in there, and she was not very good. I think it's probably one of her worst roles I've ever seen and heard her play in my entire life. Her Russian accent was really bad. It wasn't very good. It just a lot of things in there that could have been better, But the thing that will make me watch it is the fact that I get to see Indy at an old age, but the fact that, like I said, he's still got it. He still can swing the whip around. He can still kick the shit out of his enemies. He can still do everything he can in his younger age, only he's just got an older body. He's just seen too much mileage. Way too much mileage. And like you said in the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Okay. Now, the series in general. This has some great special features, but you'll find most of the special features in this to be the same as the DVD set. Only the fact that it has a few documentaries that were made especially for this Blu-ray. And for me, Indiana Jones, The Temple of Doom, The Last Crusade are the ones that stick out. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, they could have done better with. Didn't really care about how it was done, but I'll still watch it. So it's still watchable. So, that's all I have for today. Thank you for watching this. Hope you go out and get this. It's worth it. So, thank you very much for watching.